Sorry, I just had to get in the gate of this place here. Ah, I just got here. Okay. So yeah, I feel like the muscle relaxer, I only took a half last night because the whole was way too powerful. But I was in a lot of pain yesterday, so I took a half, and I feel a little bit out of it, but my muscles feel pretty good. Anywho, where was I headed? So I'm just glad that glad your book thing went well. So the court case. Oh yeah, and I agree with what you said about being defensive and stuff like that. And you know, and yeah, when it's like a personal interaction, I can usually stay pretty calm and be like, okay, listen, you know, I didn't do anything and you're way off here, you know, let's calm down and look at the evidence. You know, I'm okay at doing that. That's not a problem. What I'm having an issue with, let me just explain what happened. What had happened was, just kidding. So I was street performing, you know, doing the showgirl thing. Okay, and street performing is a First Amendment protected activity. Okay, there are actually specific laws and statutes protecting street performers. And we are allowed to receive tips. That is allowed under the law. So the cops, okay, so with all that being said, the casinos plan out how much money they're going to get every year from tourism. And the street performers get quite a large chunk of money. I was making so much money, I can't even explain it to you. I made like $500 to $1,000 a night. I'm not even joking. Street performing. You know, because, well, I was very flirty. You know, and it's not real, but you basically get the guys to come and take a photo with you, and you know, you giggle, and you know, I didn't let them grab me or touch me or anything like that. I mean, I would put my arm around them. They could put their arm around my waist or whatever for the photo. But if they tried to grab my behind or any other, you know, things, they would immediately, because, you know, I do martial arts, get their hand grabbed in a way that would let them know you will not be touching me in that fashion. So anyway, the point is I made tons of money, and all I did was take a photo with them. And we're allowed to do that, but the casinos, they don't want to lose that money. And so because the casinos put so much money into the police force here, basically all of there's a percentage of the hotel rates that actually go directly into the police department. And I can't remember how that works. I've gone to several street performer union meetings where they broke it down, but I don't remember all the details. But what I do know is that essentially the police department's in the pockets of the casinos. If the casino wants something, they get it. You know, if they call the cops on you, it's not like, oh, you're innocent until proven guilty. It's like, they're going to come in and they're going to tase you and you're going down. You know, another street performer who was being compliant, by the way, got tased, choked out, and died. This is while I was street performing. I personally had been surrounded by SWAT team type cops with their hands on their guns, treating me like I was some sort of a threat. You know, because what, I was gonna hurt them with my feathers, like my showgirl feathers are dangerous or something. I was unlawfully arrested and thrown into jail. And they actually, you know, dismissed the charges because why? They did it unlawfully. They had nothing to hold against me. Oh, don't even get me started. Oh, this has caused so much stress and anxiety in my life. I can't even explain it to you because it got to a point where I would go out there to street perform and I started getting PTSD because after being surrounded by cops, like, let's say 10 times in a row and them threatening you, you start to get really afraid for your life. I didn't know how deep the corruption went, and I went so far, they had a fake court with no American flag, no seal. They were using an old building, or an old courtroom that used to be for the Supreme Court upstairs in the courthouse for this community court. It was a fake court, kangaroo court. I can't even tell you how corrupt this whole thing was. I mean, I uncovered me and the union president, Michael T. Moore, and another guy who was a Wolverine street performer from Germany. We uncovered literally an entire corruption and all their lies. I secretly recorded them. And I started to get, you know, I know this sounds, you know, like, oh, wow, you know, that's paranoid, but no, it really was happening. And after that street performer got killed, I started to become afraid for my life. I was like, you know, they even dragged me onto a casino's property. This is when they unlawfully arrested me. They took me in the back door of a casino. I was on a public street. If you're going to take me to jail, take me to jail. Why are you dragging me into a casino, into a back room, and handcuffing me to a bench? There was no reason for that, but that's what they did. And that was unlawful. Completely unlawful. Oh, I get so upset. Anyway, I became afraid for my life. I came to the point where I was like, are they just going to shoot me and say that I resisted? Or... because I became a thorn in their side. You know, I don't back down from fights. I'm very... after being bullied in high school, I don't like being bullied. And if anyone does try to bully me, they're going to get a run for their money. I'm not going to go down easy, and I'm going to make it miserable for them. That's pretty much my plan. I'm just not going to be pushed around. I'm not going to be silenced. You know, that's how I feel. That's my personality. And anyway, so these cops would come up and they'd be like, you need to move along. And I would say, you're violating my First Amendment rights. I have a right to be here. I'm not breaking the law in any way, shape, or form. I've studied the laws. I know the statutes. And I am in no way, shape, or form breaking the law. So you cannot make me leave. Okay, I have a right to be here. And that's when they would like put their hands on their guns and be like, you know, well, the casino called us. They said you're causing trouble. I'm like, first of all, this is a public sidewalk. This is not casino property, for one thing. For another thing, just because they called on me doesn't mean I did anything. Okay, what if I call on them and say they're doing crap to me? Are you going to go arrest them? I mean, you can see how upsetting this has been for me. Anyway, I got to the point where I'd be out on the street performing, and I would just hear a sound or see a certain color, and I would think it was the cops, and I would start literally having like an anxiety attack in my chest, like I'd be looking around like you know, and then I just couldn't even make money anymore. I just couldn't even make money. You know, I went from making $500 to $1,000 per day to like nothing, you know, to like $100. It wasn't even worth it for me to be out there anymore because it was really hard work. I had to walk around for 4 hours in high heels on concrete, in very uncomfortable costumes with a huge backpack with big feathers on it. And anyway, it was it was really hard work. So, I mean, if you're not going to make tons of money, there's just no reason to be out there. So I started getting anxiety and PTSD over the whole thing. So that's what they gave me a ticket for, was supposedly doing business in a public thoroughway without a license. Let me tell you this. Number one, there is no license for street performing. You can't get one. It doesn't exist. So how are you supposed to get a license for it? Number two, they've already ruled in other court cases that it's not required to have a license, and that it's a First Amendment protected activity, and that you're allowed to receive tips. So it's a fake ticket. You know, it's pretty much a fake ticket. Anyway, so here's my dilemma, now that you have all that background. The lawyer says that my rights were violated when they gave me this ticket, and that I'll probably win the case. However, if I don't win the case, I could be found guilty, have a misdemeanor on my record, pay a huge fine, and potentially, highly unlikely, but potentially, get jail time. The prosecution is offering me a deal, which is called, it's a very rare thing actually, it's called a stay of adjudication, where you pay them a fine, $250, and they dismiss the case, which it doesn't go on your record. Okay, in a way it is admitting guilt because you're paying, but it doesn't go on your record. So it's like a special deal that they do, I guess, every once in a while, probably when they know they're wrong, but they just figure that you want to be done with it. I think that's pretty much what it is. Anyway, they offered me that. Okay, so this has been going on. I've been dealing with court for 2 years. I've been in and out of court with these stupid fake tickets. I went to jail, like I said. I had to go to counseling for my trauma. I mean, it's been a nightmare. And now they're offering me, pay $250, it's over. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so nice. But then there's that little thing inside me that says, you're gonna let them say that you are guilty? Like, you're gonna pay them? They harassed you, they violated your rights, and then you're gonna give them money. What the hell? You know, that's what this thing inside me is saying. You're gonna let them push you around? What about all the other street performers that rights have been violated? You're just gonna lay down so then they can get picked on too? You know? That's really hard for me. I don't like seeing other people get bullied as well, besides myself. But here's what I finally came to. I've suffered so long, and you know what? I did give them a run for their money. I did stand up for myself. I did go to jail. I did get guns pulled on me. You know, I went to union meetings. I put money towards the union, and I've done my part. Sorry, I'm gonna eat this breakfast thing. I did my part, and I need to do what's best for me. And if I go to jail or I have another thing on my record, that's not the direction I'm trying to go in my life. You know, now I'm working at the Venetian, I'm teaching piano, everything's going really well. And if I were to go to jail, that would be taking a huge step back in my life. You know, and I've already been to jail several times. I don't want to go back. I hate it there. They treat you like an animal. And anyway, so anyway, I've decided to take the deal. Well, I actually asked my lawyer to do a counter offer for them to drop the charges entirely and I'll never street perform again, or for them to lower the fine and I'll still do the state of adjudication. If they don't accept either one of those, I'm just going to pay the $250 and have it out of my life. But I have to satisfy the part of me that says, no, you know, you're being picked on again. And I just have to tell myself, and I'm always looking for support or reinforcement in this area. That's why I called my mom, my dad, my best friend, to get some feedback saying, you know what, you have to do what's right for you. And you know what, you're not being selfish by getting out of this after 2 years and just paying a fine. You're not doing anything wrong there. You're not abandoning those people that were bullied. You're not laying down and just letting them get away with everything, you know. And my dad told me, you know, it's a futile fight. They're corrupt. You're fighting against a machine that is bigger than you. And is it really worth sacrificing your peace when you could just pay $250 and walk away and get it out of your life? He said, just get it out of your life. And he said, you know, anything that brings peace is of Christ. Things that bring contention is of Satan. And he said, so which one brings peace? Paying the fine or continuing to fight? I was like, you know what, Dad, you're right. You're right. I need to have peace in my life, and this needs to be out of my life. So, anyway, that was my experience as a street performer. Had a great time, made tons of money. I was the top girl in the company. They actually call me the famous Lexi there because I made 3 or 4 times as much money as everybody else. That's pretty much anywhere I go anyway, but you know, I mean, I'm a legend there, which is pretty cool. But I couldn't keep doing it, so that part of my life is over. It's a fun memory though. It's a fun memory, other than the harassment part. Anyway, I'm going in to teach piano. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a better day. Bye.